Hello, 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 everyone. Listen, I'm going to make this quick live stream just because I just finished a brisk walk, and I still had this comment on my mind. A young man reached out to me today, and he did not mean any harm or any ill intent. The good thing about it is that he's young, right? So much time to teach him a financial education when he was not taught in schools and what was intentionally not taught in schools. But he asked me the question in reference to the home based business. He wanted some assistance. He did a lot of forex trading, and he wanted to learn more about the tax shelters as a result of those profits or gains that he received from trading forex. And so, with that being said, he asked me very innocently and purely if the home based business was a scam. And the first thing I thought was about the general population of the older adults. Not him, right? He still has time and age on his side. So I'm be privileged to teach him this information because his mind is still open and fresh to learning and gaining real knowledge, right? But he asked, "Is the business was a scam?" I answered him in several ways. The first thing I told him, if I was going to scam people with a business opportunity, I would definitely market it higher than $129. That's number one, right? I would definitely get more profit out of it than to ask people to get in $129 opportunity. If I'm going to scam and it could result in being a pyramid scheme or jail time, I'm going for the big bucks, right? Big bucks, no whammies. I'm not trying to scam people for $129. What is a scam and how you can identify a pyramid scheme is like the sushi flower that was recently going on in 2019 that people were investing in. It does not require any of your personal information or social security number, none of that. Those things are scams. Those are pyramid schemes. That's how you identify them. Any legitimate work from home business opportunity will have to capture your social security, your name, or your business that you have now, EIN number and business information, because you get a 1099 as a business owner at the end of the year annually. So as a business owner, you're paid or you show your track record of financial expenses through a 1099 form, a legitimate form, versus none of that being in place. So anytime anything's a scam, your personal information or 1099 definitely will not be sent out. I'm seeing 111. So whether you are watching this live or in the replay, I want you to hashtag 111. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that when I see those numbers, sacred information and knowledge and wealth information is about to transfer. So put that in the comment section. Number two, let's talk about paycheck taxes in particular. We can talk about all types of forms of taxes: property taxes, retail taxes, Avalon taxes, taxes for your vehicle for tax. Um, we could just go on and on and on about how the government, uh, the Federal Reserve, the IRS, gets its money back from hardworking Americans, right, in the form of taxes. Actually, Dave Ramsey has a video. Let me see if I can pull that up. Um, And I agree with Dave on some things I don't agree with Dave on. But hey, Dave Ramsey is Dave Ramsey. His platform is way bigger than mine. So that's not up to debate about, yeah, Dave Ramsey doesn't probably don't care that I don't agree with some of his financial strategies. However, I saw this video by Dave Ramsey. Americans are flocking to low income states. This was Fox Business News. Let's bring them some answers. Here now is Dave Ramsey, radio host and author of Baby Steps Millionaires. Dave, thanks for Baby Steps Millionaires. I have a question I want to ask you from one of our viewers. It's Julia H. writes, I'm preparing for retirement in 1.5 years. I'm thinking of moving out of California and looking at Tennessee or South Carolina.
Is there a questionnaire or checklist to identify the best strategies to maximize taxes and stretch funds to trying to get their lives back? So anytime you move away from a state for whatever reason, always sell your home. So she's going to sell that California home, and she's going to move to South Carolina or to Tennessee. Both of those states have no income tax, and so her tax situation is going to change pretty dramatically. As far as drawing down on her retirement accounts, we don't have much information from this particular email, so sit down with your financial advisor. If you're 70 and a half, there's a required minimum distribution that begins on a standard 401k or traditional IRA, but you can look at the nest egg you have and set it up your budget to where you live off of the golden eggs that the goose is producing, and that's what you're going to want to set up. So Dave, just thinking about, your finances.
So the whole point of this, Americans are flocking to low-income tax states. That's how big of a problem that Americans are having with taxes. And the problem is they don't have real financial answers, right? Dave Ramsey said, go ahead, sell. But oftentimes, like Florida, Texas, Tennessee, when they see people migrating in from other high, now California is very high tax state, right? I feel for Californians, right? However, they don't understand that even with no income state taxes, that what those states are going to eventually do is increase the property taxes, where it still can be unaffordable to live in those states because of the property taxes that they're paying on property. Even with Illinois, some areas in Illinois right now, the state of Illinois, people are having issues paying property taxes long well after their homes are paid off into their retirement. So you have to have a financial plan for taxes. The best financial plan is with the home-based business because the government gives the home-based business 475 tax deductions, more than any other business that you can have. The more tax deductions that you can have, the more money you keep from the money you're spending out. And with the home-based business, you get to keep more of the money on things that you are buying anyway or spending bills on anyway. So those bills become tax deductions, your cell phone bills, your vehicle mileage, and or your gas in your vehicle, your square footage of where you live, a house, an apartment, a condo, townhouse, it doesn't matter. Your certain square footage. If you're residing in there anyway, why not have residual income? Other bills that you're paying now becomes they're not bills, they are business expenses. So the government looks at entrepreneurs differently because they realize that entrepreneurs are the ones that create jobs for the economy. The government cannot create jobs for the economy, and so they give them tax incentives. Now, why home-based business in particular, I don't know. But what I do know is the government abides by a lot of the biblical economic rules and regulations. So if you look at the Bible, for example, you can look at 2 Kings chapter 4, what saved that woman and her two sons for being sold into a slavery system of working for somebody else versus working for their mother was the home-based business. She created a home-based business. Her husband had died, left the family in bad debt, right? Um, the family had debt and the creditors was coming to get her son to make them pay off of their debt, and now they will become laborers or servants to the creditors. That was the harsh punishment of getting in bad debt. There is a such thing as bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is any debt that takes money out of your pocket. Good debt is any debt that you use to purchase assets that put money into your pockets. Another example in the Bible, the Proverbs 31st woman, right? I love the Bible when it comes to money matters because most often women in the Bible were the ones that were in financial hardship or situations. And oftentimes the Bible always uses women as examples of how to um, financially prosper or get ahead. And so we look at the Proverbs 31st woman. She had 9 business structures, 9. And she had maid servants in her household. So she too had a home-based business. 9 different business structures. So what equals out is that no matter how many business structures that you want to have, one of those business structures need to be, should be, and have to be, if you want to be on this transfer of wealth side, a home-based business. No other business structure gives you the tax deductions. The second most profitable business structure or business entity that you or transitions that you can be involved in other than a home-based business is real estate. Well, oftentimes to be in positive cash flow with real estate, you have to put up 6 figures, thousands of dollars, or even 5 figures, even if you find a dilapidated property in a nice neighborhood, right? So with this home-based business, you get the same tax deductions, which means you get to save the money that you're spending anyway. Now you can actually have some money left over to invest. So the biggest scam, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to do this through sovereign citizenship, right? I understand sovereign citizenship. I understand the straw man and all of that, but I'm not trying to live like a nomad. I'm not trying to not have identification. I'm not trying to put myself in a position where I have an accident. I cannot get medical help. I'm not trying to put myself in a position where I cannot use the bank's money and leverage that money to get assets. I'm not trying to live in a position that every time I drive, right, that I can potentially uh, get harassed by the police and law enforcement. It's just not worth it. In my opinion, when I can invest $129, get the 475 tax deductions, and legally, morally, and ethically, right, play the game the way it should be played without having all of those negatives, in my opinion, that comes with it. However, if you have enough money to in time to invest in becoming a straw man and national citizenship, and you don't mind the you can live off the money that you have now because you in no way will have medical treatment, and you have enough money to live off natural herbalists, no defense from the government in America, then by all means, hey, do what you do. Wish you much success in that endeavor. However, let me break down what is a scam and most Americans don't know about. It's when you get that FICA taken out of your paycheck, right? You get $100,000 a year income and you take home 67,000 for the year. When you get a tax refund and you don't realize that you're just getting your money back again at 0% interest, where the Federal Reserve and U.S. Treasury go out and invest your money from your labor and to gain more higher interest rate. See, it wasn't until 1939 that Americans were even taxed out of their paycheck. So from 1939, about 6% of hardworking employees were taxed federal government out of taxes to deduct taxes directly out of their paychecks. So now in 1945, right, 74% of Americans got taxed out of their paychecks. So from 1939, that changed from 6% being directly taxed out of their paychecks to 1945, 74%. And that was on anyone that made an annual income of $500 or more. See, those are scams that people don't want to read and research that they should be researching. Why? There was a time before 1939 that everything you earned as an employee out of a paycheck was 100% shifted back into your household. So you should be asking yourself, if you look at your check stub, people don't look at their check stubs anymore like they used to, right? Because they changed it to digital um, check stubs in which you have to create a username and password. And people just wait till their direct deposit hit the bank account. They don't even look at their check stub to realize how much they're being taken out in taxes. But what if that money, instead of giving it to the Federal Reserve or U.S. Treasury, was coming in your household? That's what a home-based business and $129 opportunity, which is a promotional price, limited time, will do for you. $129 opportunity can save you thousands. So this is called the C-237 Section 01 Act. Google it. C-237 Section 01 Act. 1939, 6% of taxes out of Americans' paycheck or employees' paycheck. And then in 1945, that increased to 74%. And right now in 2022, 100% of Americans get that tax out of their paycheck. Also, you need to research 1985, Ronald Reagan's Tax Reform Act. What that did, Ronald Reagan's Tax Reform Act, what that caused was now high income Americans, we're going to tax you more. See, the more money you make, the more they take, unless you have tax shelters. So the very first thing you want to do if you want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, or if you want to stop living check to Monday, CTM, means you get paid Friday and you're broke by Monday because you're paying past due bills, or you want to get out of this rat race, right, is you now have to be taxed like the wealthy are taxed, which means the wealthy pay little to no taxes. That's why they didn't want you to look at President Trump's tax return. It's not because anything was illegally reporting on there. It's because it would have gave you the blueprint of what to do, so you can save the money you're making, and so you can use the bank's money to invest. See, when Donald Trump and 50 Cent filed bankruptcy, they filed bankruptcy to protect their assets and to keep more of the money that they're making. When the poor working class filed bankruptcy, they filed bankruptcy to write off bad debt, from charge cards to department store cards to credit cards to a vehicle note. And that's all they get out the deal. So if you really want to know what a scam is, people, look at the taxes you're charged if you trade Forex, stocks, or cryptocurrency, or if you get paid through a paycheck, the taxes you get charged when you work and labor. And then you need to do the research about who the Federal Reserve really is and the U.S. Treasury, because it is not government. If you knew all of that, as Malcolm X said, the truth will set you free, but at first it will piss you off. If you knew that information, you would so fast invest $129 to ship that money back to you to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck and struggling financially. And you will wish you made the decision a long time ago. That's what you should be asking. See, another scam, what people don't know, the dollar cash is designed to lose 40% of its value every year. So if the dollar is designed that way, the more that the Federal Reserve and U.S. Treasury print out or distribute out in the form of stimulus, PPP loans, et cetera, then another question you should ask yourself about scamming and scams is, why would I save something that's strategically designed to lose 40% of its value yearly? And why wouldn't I not take that cash and put it into assets that's gaining interest and value and not being devalued? I did a live stream yesterday. 1 million Americans, 1 million Americans doing this since 2019, during this pandemic, became millionaires. They invested in 2 digital resources, stocks and crypto. Stocks and crypto, that's it. 1 million Americans became millionaires. So how many people flip stocks and crypto? They no longer have that asset. We should be working for them, right? To put them ahead of these inflation and rising gas and grocery prices. But now you don't have your asset working for you anymore. You just sold your business partners that was working for you. And now you have a big crypto tax bill to pay, or a big stock tax bill to pay. And you don't have any tax shelters. See, as an employee, you only get 9 deductions and allowances. 9. As a home-based business owner, you get 475. That's the blueprint. The more you save in taxes, the more money you can get out of your paycheck, the more your bills or your everyday expenses can be reduced, the more you can keep up with inflation. And now you can actually have money left over to invest. So you can really experience and pass on generational wealth. You can have 99 problems, but money doesn't have to be one of them. But the problem is, the reason why money is one of them out of the 99 is because you are second guessing a $129 decision. Hey, I'm out, Queen out. Hope that help you recognize what's really a scam.